Hey, hey, hey. It's 3 o'clock.
It is 3 o'clock.
Well, welcome. It's 3 o'clock on February 7th, 2021. And welcome to the pre-Super Bowl Sunday version of the First Sunday Songwriter, streaming live on the NeWorlDeli page, on my music page, and on my guest Brian Kalinec's music page, and also on my YouTube page and my Twitter at CT Gibson. So welcome, Houston's Brian Kalinec. It's so great to see you. Yay.
Thank you for having me, Claudia. It's great to be here.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining me. And
you bet.
It's super nice. I mean, I'm sorry we can't be here in person in lovely Wimberley. It's a beautiful day. We could be playing out in the garden stage that my husband built during the lockdown this past year in anticipation of better times and house garden concerts. But it's great to have you. And for those of you who are fans of Brian Kalinec, welcome. You know how great he is. And for those of you who may know me and don't know Brian, you're in for a treat because he's just one of the best songwriters around, and he's got his fingers in a little bit of everything. Writing, he's got a record company. He helps produce things, and he's just an all-around supporter of singer-songwriters, and is really active in Folk Alliance and in Southwest Regional Folk Alliance, SWRFA, a lot of things. So, Brian, I'm going to have you kick us off today.
Okay.
What are you going to do first?
I'm going to do a song called Two Roads. And it's about two lives. And it's pretty self-explanatory, I think. So anyway, it's a pleasure to be here, Claudia, and thank you so much for having me. Emma would share her dreams with the drunk who lived below her. Bill would listen, but he never understood, 'cause he's still sipping from his morning coffee cup of Gordon's, while she hopes that her life would do some good. When I think about it, I live somewhere in between there, just counting time and dollars that I spend. Two sides of a coin, one road leading somewhere, another heading quickly to an end. His silver-platered boyhood and a full ride through the ivy can't always overcome a shot of gin. It's too late, he discovers. Doctors need good lawyers when a patient meets an unexpected end. Well, she was born to little, except the gift of vision, of knowing everything she could become. 23 and anxious, a young maiden on a mission, with little time to crawl before she runs. Oh, when I think about it, I live somewhere in between there, just counting time and dollars that I spend. Two sides of a coin, one road leading somewhere, another heading quickly to an end. Somehow she convinced him that he needed to dry out. It was the debt that he could not repay. Well, Emma found a job in a tall tower in Manhattan right before one dark September day. Oh, when I think about it, I live somewhere in between there, just counting time and dollars that I spend. Two two sides of a coin, one road leading somewhere, another heading quickly to an end. Oh, when I think about it, I live somewhere in between there, just counting time and dollars that I spend. Two sides of a coin, one road leading somewhere, another heading quickly to an end.
Yay! Woo, that's a beautiful tune. That's
Thank
a beautiful tune. Is that a newer tune or an older tune?
It's within the last few years.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
It'll be on the next CD.
Oh, nice. And when is that coming out?
Maybe later this year. You know, everything slides in this day and time. So
I know. It doesn't seem like, it's been almost a year we've been doing all this. It's kind of crazy, right? It's kind of crazy.
A lot of sliding.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
And I know. And we have people listening from all over the place.
Oh, wow.
Rob Ellen is listening from Scotland.
Hello, Rob.
Hello, Rob. He's always tuning in. That's awesome.
That's great.
Charlie from here in Austin. Hey.
I know that guy.
Yeah, we do. Mike.
Oh, Mike Duguay.
Duguay, the French way. Yeah.
A buddy from Beaumont. Yeah.
Yeah.
We live down the street from each other.
It's really nice that Rob is carrying this on his Medicine Show Radio Moose Mobile. Yeah. And that's awesome. So hi to everyone who's watching from over across the waters, and we're delighted to have, to be here. And also thank you to NeWorlDeli. We know it's Super Bowl Sunday today, so thanks for, obviously you're not football fans, or maybe you are, and you're just like trying to get a little music in. You can always tell us where you're watching from, because that's always fun. I know there's a couple people I know watching. I know, like my son, I guilted him into watching from New York City, which is really nice.
Guilt works.
Guilt works, yeah. What else do you have kids for but to make them feel
right.
guilty, But yeah, it's really great. And it's, we were just talking the other day when we were doing this sound check about, we miss playing with people, and it'd be nice to, just like, hey, come out here, or I'll come out to Houston, we get together and play and do a gig. But, we're doing the best we can. So we appreciate people supporting live music and watching. And, that means you, Rick Wilson, and that means you, Lisa, from out there in the hill country. We really do appreciate it. And if you're so inclined, there's a little scrolling thing on the bottom. If you want to hit us up with a few, like, pass the jar tips, there's the addresses. And we're also going to talk a little bit more, too, about your record company, Berkeley Records. That's down there. I'm going to start off with a tune, though. I'm going to stop talking. But you people who are watching, feel free to comment and tell us where you're watching from and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just going to mute you for a minute, Brian, because I'm also the producer of this show at this moment. So if you see me looking all over the place, it's not because my eyes have gone crazy, but it's because I'm clicking on different things. Well, it may be because my eyes have gone crazy, but anyway, I'm going to do, it's not a new song, but I have a bunch of songs I haven't recorded yet, and my goal for this year is to get into the studio a little bit. This one's called Unbound. Coffee in a paper cup, swirl around and drink it up. Sunrise shining on my skin. I pull out on the interstate, signaling my change of fate. Unbound and ready to begin. 1,600 miles to go. It's just a couple days or so. There's time to contemplate my sins. kids who smile and wave as license plates, reminders of the state I'm in. It's billboards, license plates. At a truck stop in Ohio, a stray dog's running down the road. Unbound, he's looking for a friend. Unbound, love can't live on the dark side of town. The lights scratched out and the shades pulled down. Unbound, and maybe now your own life will turn round. 'Cause baby, we just held each other down. Coffee in a paper cup, I swirl around and drink it up. Tonight we'll see my journey's end. I pull off from this interstate, a different kind of road awaits. I'm bound, I'm starting out again. Yeah, I'm unbound, I'm ready to begin. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I love that song.
Hey, thank you, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate people saying hi, and okay, I gotta give a shout out to Sherry, because she was my roommate in college, in my very first semester when I was 20 years old. So hi from Vermont. But you know what happens when you haven't played a song for a while, and I played that one earlier today because I did a little brief live stream, but all of a sudden, like, I was searching for a word, and I was like, oh, wow, yeah, I haven't been playing this song a lot. And it's kind of like, oh, yeah, I call it the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man moments. Just little stray thoughts come in, and then they come and they steal the words away. So, yeah, that's what happens.
Yes.
So we know about that.
Sometimes I have a full-blown marshmallow attack.
Yeah. Well, I want to just ask you about this for a minute. I'm going to put something up on the screen. And hold on just a second. We're going to put a tab up here. This just takes a minute. So tell me a little bit about Berkelin Records, because I'm looking at all these people that I love. Daniel Bowling, George Ensley, Matt Harlan, Tim Henderson, you, Libby Koch.
Probably
Bernice,
more.
just tons of people. Jordan. Yeah, just tons of people up here. Randy Brown, Ordinary Elephant. So this is a record company, yes? And it's BerkelinRecords.com.
We are. We have a situation where we can distribute for people, and we don't take on a lot of artists very often, but we do from time to time. But because there aren't as many record labels out there anymore, we saw the need, and I kind of have to blame Charlie Stewart for this, and he's probably at home laughing right now because he said, "Hey, we should start a label or expand your label," and we did, and actually Bob Cheevers was the first guy that we signed,
and Charlie's a manager, and Bob Cheevers is another great Texas artist.
Yeah, Charlie's my manager, and he talks me into a lot of stuff. But this was a really good one because we get a chance to give artists that a platform that they may not otherwise get. I mean, it's there's we all know how much money there is in the business, but
Dreams.
but it
enough for me to buy this $150 cello. So there you go.
There you go. See, there's a place to help elevate artists and give them some recognition that they deserve and may not otherwise get. And so that's, I guess our little niche in the world is to do that. So.
Well, it's cool, and those are all great people and great artists, and there's so many great Texas songwriters. I mean, it's, when music is really going and you're in Austin, you can just, pick up the Chronicle and look at any day of the week and go out to any club, and hopefully most of them will survive. Some aren't, but after this is all over, and you can just, it's an embarrassment of riches.
It's sort of a prediction of mine that, things always, once they come back, there will be people who will say, look, it's been a long time that we haven't had this going on, and people will take a risk. They'll open up a place. So it may not be all the same places, but people will open places because there's just a natural demand for live music.
Oh yeah, and I think there will be so much pent up demand. Exactly. Well, I'm gonna say enough talking for now, and you're gonna give us another tune and tell us what it is.
Okay. This was actually a Swerfa assignment from a few years back.
And explain what that is for the people who don't know.
From the Southwest Regional Folk Alliance, we have Dallas Allen has this song assignment that we draw when we first get there on Thursday, and we have until Sunday to write it. So and if you have ever been to SWERF, and I know a number of you have, or to any of the Folk Alliance conferences, you realize that sleep just isn't something that really happens. It does occasionally, but everybody's up all the time playing music, so it's a lot of fun. But so sometime during that time, you have a chance to write a song that you pulled out, and if you get it written, you play it on Sunday at the brunch. So we're getting ready to hopefully have another Swerfa. We had a virtual Swerfa, but we're going to have another one. We don't know yet whether it's going to be in person this year. So there's with all that's going on, we can't know. But we still will have song assignments like we did this year. So anyway, I hope that you enjoy it. The prompt was "You'd never expect it," and I just changed it a little bit to "I'd never expect it." So that's the basis of this song. Up in the sky there must be a blue moon shining. It gleams on the windows of the cars along the street. It lights up the sidewalks, the live oaks are lining, where mysterious footsteps leave a trail of deceit. Yesterday's news is today's complication. A fool with an answer is just a wiser fool. How do I deal with this new information? Should I be angry? Should I be cool? Well, I never expected from a slip or simply nothing new. I wasn't prepared for you to drop that other shoe. Well, I never expected from you. I believe trust is a bit underrated, and I thought you held that same decide to become so undedicated. The pain is so sharp when you turn that screw. Well, I never expected from you. Was this just a slip or simply nothing new? I wasn't prepared for you to drop that Well, I don't wear my heart on any sleeve. It's so hard to accept what I still can't believe. Well, I never expected from you. Was this just a slip or simply nothing new? I wasn't prepared for you to drop that other shoe. Well, I never expected, no, I never expected, no, I never expected from you.
Whew, that's a beautiful tune. That
Thank
just
you.
has a really classic sound to it.
Little doo-wop.
Yeah, a little bit. No, it has a beautiful sound to it. I could hear that with a horn section and a band and everything.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Thank you.
Oh no, awful, awesome. I was reading a comment not about awful, but about Charlie commented, great tune, lots of soul. But I thought, I was looking at it and I thought it said great tuna, lots of S-O-L-E, because here it's all S-O-L-E. So I was like, oh, that's awful. And I was about to say awesome and it came out awful. So, you know.
Oh, thank you. I know what you meant.
You know, yeah, it's really terrible. No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, yeah, and song prompts are funny things. I'm in a songwriting group that, and I'm just looking down to make sure that I was listening so much that I wasn't tuning, but that I'm still in tune. Yes, I am. I'm in a songwriting group, and I'm about to. We have like rotating heads for it goes for 8 to 10 weeks, and it's so I'm going to be the professor for the next group, which starts like in another week or so. So I get to send out the prompts and do all the fun stuff. But this next tune started that way. It started from an experience I had when I was driving back from New Orleans to Texas and kind of went off roads and took a little side trip to a historic plantation, which was really eye-opening and creepy and sort of frustrating, because I really wanted to hear from the people who would, that had worked there and lived there as slaves, and what their lives, the stories they had to tell. Because when you walk through this place, you just felt like it was just, the air was kind of crammed with them. And I got home that night and I had to write a song according to a prompt, and I came up with this song, which is called Louisiana Sky, and I liked the way it turned out, so I'm going to play it. And I ended up recording it was it last year? Well, not this past year, the year before. I kind of feel like this last year doesn't even count, It's like 2020, it's just like, erase that. Anyway, this is Louisiana Sky. 60 miles from nowhere, city lights left behind, just me and the highway in a Louisiana sky. I heard the past come a-calling like a voice from up high, saying we all once lived there under Louisiana sky. Crossed a bridge over the bayou, sugarcane grows tall and wide. plantation cabins down an old gravel road. There's ghosts in the live oaks telling tales from old souls. Blue beads in their pockets to keep off the evil eye. Couldn't lift them to freedom under Louisiana skies. And on their papers, first names only. Moses, Martha, and a child. Life stories left there in cypress and stone. Once flesh and blood, now dust and bone. Clouds darkened and swirled down. Lightning crackled and cried. Tears of history were streaming from the Louisiana sky. Cabins empty and dusty, voices still by the time. I said my prayers to the nameless in the Louisiana sky. Said you won't be forgotten under Louisiana skies. Oops, thanks. Oh, you gotta unmute yourself because I can't unmute you.
I love that song.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And do you know what my prompt was for that? Did I ever tell you what the prompt was?
No.
It was Evil Eye, and I was
Evil
like,
Eye.
and I knew I wanted to like write about what I had experienced there because it was like this massive thunderstorm in the middle of walking through these really sort of very just creepy looking and feeling slave cabins. There was just this huge thunderstorm started, and I had to use so I went home and I wanted to write about it, but I had to use the word evil eye, so I kind of just Googled evil eye and Louisiana slaves, and I found out that there were holdovers from the African religion where the slaves would walk around with blue beads in their pockets to keep the evil eye from as if things weren't bad enough, they didn't want the evil eye on top of it.
Right.
Yeah. But it was kind of like a holdover. They would mix the African religions in with newer stuff, Christianity. So yeah, it was kind of I saw that and I'm like, oh yeah, and I kept writing. But yeah. Oh look, I'm looking at people online. This is fun. I get to see Carl Solomon, our good friend up from the West Coast, up there.
Hi, Carl.
In the Great Northwest. And thank you so much. Carl and I had a really fun experience. Carl might remember he was out here and we played an outside gig, and a giant thunderstorm happened in the middle of it. So we had to gather everything up and run inside at this place and then set everything up again. It was lots of fun. You get your workout that way.
Those are the shows you remember too, though.
I remember it. Yeah,
You
it was
always remember it, and yes. Hi, Carl.
Yeah. And it's for any of you, I know like we're watching, this is being streamed in several places. It's on my YouTube page, it's on my Twitter page, and it's also on my personal Facebook page. So I can't see those or anything that's streaming to I can't see any of those remarks from our personal page. So if you have something burning to say and you're on one of our personal pages, just go over to our music page, pages, and yours is facebook.com/Brian Kalinec music, and mine is Claudia Gibson music. So That said, tell us about this next song. What you got up your sleeve?
Well, this is the new one that I'm going to play today.
New
And this
song.
is this is the second time I've played it in a.
We need a bell. Wait. New song. Can we like? There's a bell in here in my little timer.
Okay.
It's really pathetic, right? Yeah.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm still learning the words, but I'm going to cheat a little bit here.
That's okay.
And I noticed that my guitar can't even be seen, so we're gonna.
Yeah, we can't see your guitar. We can't see the music stand, so you shouldn't have even mentioned it. You should say, I wrote this last night and I memorized all the words, just like that.
Yeah, well, those people who know me know better. And those who don't need to.
All right, Brian, well, you go to it.
What inspired the song, we have a large window. It's very high and near the ceiling in our bedroom, and the moon comes right over it. It passes right over the gap between the houses, and when it's a full moon, the room just lights up. So that kind of gave me the idea for this. And actually, I was asleep. And then I woke up and noticed the moon, and then for some reason I came up with this idea, and I got up and went down and wrote a good bit of the song then. So finished it up the next day. But I hope you like it. And it's called Full Moon Window. As I lay under full moon window, bright light shines like night for day. It fills this room with hope and healing, giving me courage to find my way. Since I'm not sleeping, I take a walk then to prove to me I'm not afraid. The darkened footpath, so I won't stumble at the gate. Along the road, I tread with purpose, bathed in midnight special glow. Though I may be the only traveler, I don't feel like I'm alone. Is this heaven, or is this Houston, or just one more sleight of eye? It might be real, or an illusion. I'll always treasure as years pass by. Some 30 minutes on my journey, I meet another night walking soul, wearing a face of calm and patience. So we walk together on down this road. Well, it's not long till we encounter more souls traveling this special night. Tranquility brings peace in numbers. We shed our sorrows in this light. Is this heaven, or is this Houston, or just one more sleight of eye? It might be real, or an illusion. I'll always treasure as years pass by. Then I wake up the next morning, sun through that window brings a different light. I was filled with love and hope and purpose from that full moon window on that peaceful night. Was this heaven, or was this Houston, or just one more sleight of eye? Was it real or an illusion? I'll always treasure as years pass by.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Is this heaven or is it Houston? Kind of reminds me of that Jimmy Dale Gilmore, about flying into Dallas on a DC-10. And yeah, things can look. I love, when you're in a place and it just, you get a different perspective. I had that happen once flying into New York City at night, which and flying right over the Statue of Liberty, which in Lower Manhattan, which you don't usually do, but it was like I was living there then, and it was just that different perspective. It's yeah, that's real pretty. I like that one. I like that a lot. And we have a lot of people commenting, which is cool. And and someone, Betsy, is this friend of yours, said
yes.
it made her day.
Hi, Betsy. How you doing?
And does Betsy have some cute little pups there? Wow, cute. I hope they're watching too.
We've known Betsy for many years, and her late husband used to coach our daughter soccer.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, wow. I have a friend out here who's a DJ, Coach Smith, Dick Smith, and he does a radio show out here now and plays my music a lot, and he used to coach my son. These things happen. Oh, yeah. And Carl, we were talking about that show we got rained on, and yeah, it was hot. It was summer in Texas, and when you're not used to it, yep, the rain can feel really good. Well, I was thinking of playing an older song, and I hope I remember all the words, because I remember once going to see Slade Cleaves play, and he had a new album out. He was playing the songs from that, and then he decided to play one of his older, more well-known songs, like Broke Down or one of those, and he messed up the words, and he said afterwards, the old songs kind of get mad sometimes when you give the new ones too much attention, so they get back at you.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Anyway, that said, I'm going to play this one, and I see my husband's listening. I think he's listening on one of my pages down there, and like I said, I see people's comments if you're on the NeWorlDeli page or on our music page, and we've also run it to our private Facebook pages, but I can't see anything from there. So anyway, this song is called Real Love. It's I wrote it probably about 5-6 years ago and recorded it. It's on my first album, Step by Step. Stars align, or was it just chance and fate combined? Did they find real love? Did they find real love? If you took any given woman and man and joined them together for a whole lifespan, would they find real love? Would they find real love? I'm going to stop this song right now, Brian, and I'm going to bring you back here for a sec, because I definitely jinxed that song by saying, I hope I remember the words to it.
Well, play another one.
I will. You know what? I'm going to play a newer song. Here we go. And I'm real sorry about that, guys, but these things happen.
They do happen.
They do happen. So that one, yeah, I'm going to have to practice that one a little more. I'm going to play, maybe I'll play a newer tune. Yeah, I think so. Actually, well, I'll play a song that I also really like. And it's a little bit of a sad song, but it's also from that album. Maybe I'll just do like, half a verse of each. Anyway, let me go on. And I'm sorry, folks, that's a little, a little unprofessional, I guess, but, and I never usually stop a song. I just go on ahead, but I knew that the chorus to that it had been a while since I played it. So anyway, this song I just played, I played it last week at a I guess a online kind of memorial service for one of our friends, Stuart Burns, who was a great songwriter in Austin. He also played in Port Aransas, and Stuart passed away unexpectedly, unfortunately, this past month, and so we all kind of miss him. But he really liked this song, and so I'm going to play it. It's called Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio, it's 10 a.m. Thursday. Checked out of my motel and I went for a walk. The lakefront is quiet except for men fishing. They stand on the dockside, cast their lines out and talk. And how am I living without you? And why can I be in this world on my own? Did you really think I would doubt you? Did you really leave? Did you really leave me alone? Youngstown, Ohio, state line by lunchtime. Grabbed some coffee at the Quick Mart and found the talk radio. The callers are angry, they say they're forgotten. Though my reasons are different, it's a feeling I know. How can I make it without you? And why am I here in this world on my own? Did you really think I would doubt you? Did you really leave? Did you really leave me alone? Route 80 PA seems to stretch on for days. I count off the small towns and miles. Water Gap into Jersey and the suburban haze. But the New York City skyline, that's a sight for sore eyes. Hoboken, New Jersey, it's 6 p.m. Thursday. Parked the car by the ferry and I boarded that boat. Halfway across the Hudson, pulled a box from my backpack. I shook out your ashes, watched you blow off and float. How can I make without you. And why am I here in this world on my own? No choice but to go on without you. But how could you leave? How could you leave? How could you leave me alone?
Oh, I love that.
Oh, thank you.
You should have heard the lead I was playing with you.
It would have been. I heard you. You know, we did that one up at NERFA. That was my first time up there, and I showed up in a room, and there was all these people, and it's like, yeah, we got a little band to back you up, and I'm like, oh, that always works out great. But then it's like, I'm used to things like if a bass player's there, well, we'll just play along, and they're always a half beat behind. But it was Mark. His last name just flew out. Pardon me?
Mark Black?
Bass player.
Oh, bass player. Oh.
Yeah, he was playing bass, and I said, oh, I have this on a chart. So I dialed it up on my iPad and put it in front of him. He said, great. And then you were playing, and someone else was playing keyboard, and it was like, wow, I wish I'd recorded this. It sounded nice. But so I thought like there was the potential of it sounding, bad, when you think like, oh yeah, and then no, it sounded great, but it was like real prose. It was wonderful. So yeah. So what else is going on? What you said you're going to be? I know what I wanted to ask you about up here. Yeah, you have this thing going on, Kalinec and KJ. Tell me about that. What is that?
Right. Well, I met KJ in 2013, I believe it was. I was. She happened to be doing a song, an educational song. She goes to schools and she does something. She actually lives in Pennsylvania, but she was down in Louisiana, and a friend of hers said, "Hey, there's this guy playing at the Blue Frog Cafe, I believe it's called over there, in Marshall." And so they came to hear us, and I met her, and then less than a year later, we were doing some shows together. So she came to our house and we played.
Does she just go by KJ, or does she?
Yeah, KJ Riemann Schneider Wagner is her name.
Oh well,
so
that makes sense.
She goes by KJ, but she's an amazing musician and singer and writer and just an amazing person. So.
And you made a project together? Yeah.
Yeah, so we did this project together, and so it's coming out this spring, springish. Like everything is
ish. Everything's ish this year. Yeah.
We have it mastered. We're just getting all the ducks in the row right now. So.
Oh, well, cool. Well, I'll be looking forward to hearing that. It's going to be on Brooklyn Records too. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
So
well, cool.
It's going to be fun.
Hey, I just wanted. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's just it has kind of a live feel with instruments, and it was done in the studio. So I guess that's the best way to describe it. So.
Live in the studio. Yeah, that's cool. When you can. I had one of those, my first album, I just like played and it was recorded, and I was like, oh, I heard it back, and I was like, oh, you're hearing all the imperfections because you can't go in and overdub and fix things with your voice. And then I had to trust my producer when I tried to track it, and I was like, no, I didn't have the same feel. And he's like, see, I told you. So
yeah.
I wanted to remind folks, because we've been playing now for 50 minutes, so that's pretty awesome. That if you like what you're hearing, and I know there's some of you who have stuck in there and listened, so we really do appreciate it. Please, feel free to tip. You don't have to. It's, we're bringing this here because we just like playing music. But if you want to show a little appreciation, just pretend that you're in a listening room kind of club, like maybe the old Strange Brew in Austin or Mucky Duck in Houston or somewhere. And, there they would charge money. But, a pass the hat kind of Sunday afternoon thing. So feel free to pass the hat to our Venmo.
One of our favorites, J.P. Hop's house.
Oh, J.P. Hop's house. Yeah, I played there with Matt Harlan, and Lazarus. That was wonderful. So, Mark Dan, yes, thank you. Michael Kornfeld is there with the name. And thank you, Michael. And Michael's such a great supporter of music and musicians. Yes. And in his midnight, it was his midnight hoot room.
Midnight hoot, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Lots of things happen there. It's a lot of fun.
Well, what do you have next for us? Because we probably have enough time for a song from you and then from me. And tell me what you're going to do.
I'm going to do a song that will... I wrote it really kind of in two parts. I'd written the verses at one point, and it just kind of sat there for a couple of years, that sort of thing. And then I wrote this chorus, and then I said, hey, I got this chorus. And it kind of goes with this stuff, and I put it all together, and it became a song. So it's a true hybrid, really. But it's actually one of my favorites of mine. So see if we can make it a favorite of anybody else's. And it will be the title of my next solo CD. So. I'm not 25, and I'm not trying to be. It's just a photo from my past that you once took of me. Hair down to my shoulders, somewhat thinner face. Background, it's fairly hard to place. Well, I still like to read a newspaper when it's thrown that a younger man considers hieroglyphics on a stone. Well, your mind grows pretty sterile if you refuse to think. And I'm not looking down some barrel, and I'm not gonna blink. 'Cause I don't wanna miss 1 second I've been given. Oh, I don't wanna miss a single drop of rain. I wanna feel the sunlight's kiss as I raft upon the river. Well, I don't wanna miss the beauty of it all. I have come to realize that I won't save the world. I am just a lucky man who brushed his daughter's curls. And I have found a true love this world has let me know, who saved me on some dark nights when the moon refused to show. Well, I don't want to miss 1 second I've been given. Oh, I don't want to miss a single drop of rain that falls. I want to feel the sunlight's kiss as I raft upon the river.
beautiful tune. I was singing harmony along. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Oh, it was so nice.
It sounded wonderful, I'm sure. Thank you.
Yeah. You could. It sounded great in my mind. And I was looking over at some of these comments, and here's a funny one from Betsy, who said she left both Cleveland and Youngstown to come to heaven or Houston. Thank you, Betsy. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you.
And thanks for everyone who's been listening. You know, Michael Kornfeld, it's awesome. Such a helpful person. You know, it's funny because I think, like Michael, I also did with Jordy, we did Bison, who's on Brooklyn. We did from Houston also. We did the Huntington Folk Society gig streaming, which was like one of, I think one of the first things that I did streaming, besides just my own little things, this past year. And that was supposed to be a live concert in Huntington. And Michael and those folks in New York and Long Island, they kindly agreed to, you know, to have it, to sponsor it as a streaming show. And it was wonderful because the people who tuned in, they have such an audience that really trusts Michael as a curator and a tastemaker in music to present people that they're going to like. And so Jordy and I both did it remotely, him from Houston and me here from Wimberley in the Hill Country in Texas. And it was just, it was a wonderful show. So, you know, I thank him and people like all of you. You know, you were, ever since I met you, you've been completely super supportive. And it's just really nice to run into people who genuinely feel good about music and whether they play it or whether they just, you know, are involved in it. You always know when you meet a person like that, you know, that
well, Michael,
loves
you know,
it.
And I have to give him a little shout out here. Michael helped me out a lot with my last CD when I did it. Went up to Long Island and we're good buds. So thank you, Michael, for all that you do for so many, and all of you who are listening that do that as well. We really appreciate that. I mean, you can't even measure how much that means to us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I was born on Long Island. How about that? I lived there for about a minute. We moved away, but I'm going to do a song that I wrote recently in the past couple months. And I think it was the last go around in my songwriting group, and I just got it in my head all of a sudden. I wanted to write a tune. I don't even remember what the prompt was for this one. I think I changed it around, but afterwards, you know, after I finished it and submitted it. But I wanted to do like kind of an old-timey almost. I'm not a particularly religious person, but something would have like a gospel-y or Carter family type feel to it. And so that's how it kind of ended up. And it's called Shine On. I'm going to play it. I wish you could play along on this because it desperately needs a guitar or a mandolin or something, but you can't. So, oh well. But we're going to do this one last tune and then we'll come back together and say good afternoon to all of you. So this one's called Shine On. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light. Sometimes the world feels so heavy, the burden of years as we toil and we strive. When luck is not even or steady, keep your hand on the tiller and eyes on the prize. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, sun and shine on forever in light. Remember my lifetime companion, for better or worse, we have carved out a life that love can bridge rivers or canyons. Take my hand and together we'll cross that divide. Cast your old cares away at the end of the day, and lay down beside me and close weary eyes. When our work here is done, we will fly to the sun and shine on forever in light, and shine on forever in light. Well, I can't hear you talking, Brian, but oh, there you go.
That's beautiful. I
Oh, thank
was looking
you.
for the unmute button.
There you go. You found it. You found it.
That
Oh,
was
and
beautiful.
And I got to give a shout out to my husband. Said I love this one. That's because he got a verse shout out in it. So my lifetime companion. So there you go. Well, I can't believe we've come to the end of this show. And thank you, Rob Ellen, for listening from Scotland. And
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Michael, for listening. And yes, you deserve the shout outs. And Carl and Sherry and Frank and all you people who are listening all over the country, my friends from the East Coast, the West Coast, the other continent coast, from everywhere. We really do appreciate it. And it's always nice in these shows to get to know my guests, fans and friends. And there's my son listening from New York. Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, he just had he didn't have a birthday. That was the other one. I'm sorry, I'm getting you all confused. The one who's not listening, it's his birthday. Maybe he's listening. Who knows? But thank you to Brian for joining us on the first Sunday. Thank you to NeWorlDeli for streaming us on your platform there, and to Rob from streaming us from Scotland, and to everyone who listened. Thank you for those of you who listened and tipped. We do gratefully appreciate it. And please join us. I have another show coming up in the middle of the month. I have the 50/50 hour, so you can look for that on my music page. If you sign up for my mailing list on claudiagibson.com, you'll see a list of that. My guest for that show is going to be Michael O'Connor, which I'm really looking forward to.
That'll be great.
Because Michael's a great instrumentalist, and he's a great songwriter too. I just knew him as a wonderful sideman for so many people, but man, I listened to his albums, and he's phenomenal. He's really good. And then I think next month we're going to have Scott Sean White playing as well. So a lot of good people. And I'm going to be doing a couple showcases, which I know you'll be involved with too, for the virtual Folk Unlocked version of Folk Alliance. So look for all that. Thank you, Brian, for joining me. It's been really wonderful.
Thank you, Claudia, so much, and thank you for everyone who listened in, and we certainly appreciate it. And tune into all of her shows.
Yeah, I have two
folks coming in.
Yeah, I'm lucky in that I really realized, I know a lot of really good songwriters, and they seem to be willing to come and share their tunes. So. Awesome. Well, Brian, I'm going to ask you to hang out in the studio for a little bit after we sign off. So we'll just wave goodbye to everyone. Okay. And thanks again. And if I didn't mention you, it just means because I'm not seeing you. But beyond that, all of you are much appreciated. And have a great rest of your weekend. And stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Thank you.